Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to lesson 1 of 2 today for maths. To start us off, if we have a look at the do now, it asks us to think about how many different strategies we can use to solve the following addition calculation. Now, if you think about the strategy we've already used, so we've looked at round and adjust, where we might change 134 to 140 to make the calculation a little bit easier. We've also looked at making 10, where we would see how we could get 568 to the nearest 100 and then add the rest on. And we have also looked at known facts. Now you might know other addition and other subtraction strategies which you could also use there. So have a little go at that. When we move on to the independent task, we have got a simple bar chart and a table, and then you have got a number of questions below. Now these questions require you to go away and do some addition or subtraction. And basically what I would like you to do is look at the numbers that you're given and find the best possible strategy to solve them. So again, using those maybe 3 strategies we've already learned, or strategies that you are familiar with yourself. Pause the video now and have a little go at that before moving on to the Chilli challenge. Now for the Chilli challenge today, something a little bit different, a little bit of problem solving. So again, we have got addition and a subtraction calculation, but this time they are written in the method of column addition and column subtraction. If you have a look though, we are missing certain numbers. So if I start with the plus one, I obviously when we're adding using column addition, we start on the right, so we start in the ones column. Something add 1 equals 0. Now I know that something add 1 doesn't equal 0, and we can't. And you might be thinking, oh, we can't do that. What happens sometimes though when we add a number and it gets too big and we have to jump into the tens column? So you can have a think about that. That actual 0 at the bottom might represent a 10, because if you have a look at 2 add 5 in the tens column, well, we know that's 7, but actually underneath is 8. So clearly we've carried there. Pause the video and have a little go at those. Okay, so lesson 2 of 2 of today's maths. If we start with the do now, it's just a simple matchup using a ruler. We've got down the left hand side, we've got place values sort of written in words, and then we've got the actual numbers that they represent. So if I take the first one, 32 thousands, I know that the thousands column is the 4th column along if we read from right to left. But if I've got 32 thousands, that must mean I've got 30 10,000s and 2 2000s. So looking at that number there on the right hand side, the very first number, that would match up with that one, because that is equal to 32,000. Pause the video and have a go at the do now before moving on to the independent task. Okay, moving on to the independent task then, and if we have a look, we have got just addition calculations, and they are written in the formal column addition method. Okay, so I'd like you to have a little go at them. Remember, when we're doing column addition, we start on the right hand side, so we start in the ones column. So if I take A as an example, 4 add 1 is 5, add 3 is 8, so I would have 8 ones altogether at the bottom. Moving on to the tens column, 2 add 5 is 7, add 0 is still 7, so I've got 7 tens. Hundreds column, 6 add 1 is 7, add 1 is 8, so therefore I've got 8 hundreds. And then if we move on to the thousands column, I know that 3 add 1 is 4, and 4 doubles, so 4 add 4 is 8, so that one's pretty straightforward. Have a go at doing all those, and then when you finally get to H, you need to do the column yourself for these questions that are posed in a written style. Moving on to the Chilli challenge, you will see the pyramid style questions like we did last week. So you know that, for instance, if I take the numbers 6,415 and 7,616, the total or the sum of those two numbers will be 14,031. Remember, the 2 bricks directly below the brick above add together to make the brick above. Now sometimes you might want to work backwards, sometimes you might want to work forwards. You need to find certain ones in order to help you out. So have a go at that using any addition strategy that you know of. Some of them are quite difficult, so I would definitely be using the column addition and column subtraction methods. See how you get on with that.